All right, hello for biomedical innovation for December 9th and 10th. Let's talk first about what we're going to be doing in class on that day. So I'll be giving you some feedback, individual feedback about your emergency rooms. Remember, those are due Friday. Basically, you should have those done and submitted and be ready to present them when you on Tuesday in some form. So I'll talk more about that later in the week. But so I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Give you more heads up on what to turn in for that. But be ready to present them either through a video. Most likely, it's going to be a video I'll have you make while you're in class, explaining your emergency room, and then we can share those later. Just for the sake of time, since we're not here every day. Um, so make sure you continue to work on the ER. Make sure that you are going by the project checklist and that you are looking at the criteria for the design as well, the model, as well as the presentation. Remember, the presentation does not have to be something like a Google Slides. It can be, but it does not have to be. And it just needs to be a presentation. So if you're doing, for instance, a video, Google Slides would probably be best if you just did an explanation of that. If you want to make some sort of slides or something like that to help explain what's going on, you can definitely do that as well. So we'll talk more about that in class. Just keep a heads up that you're getting things done on that. So this COVID-19 unit, here's the workbook digitally. If you want to type it out, I did give you a paper copy, but you can also do it digitally or write it out in your lab journal, whatever makes most sense to you. So we kind of looked at the scene, and we're going to set up the scene, and we're now going to get into the other parts of this. Essentially, in this, we're only doing activity 1. We're not planning on doing these others at this point. We'll kind of see how things go throughout the year if we decide to do any more out of this. But this is more of an overview of the pandemic itself. And so in the workbook, you're going to look at agents of disease. For each one, this is really what you're going to be working on outside of class, because the one thing I'm going to cover in class with you guys in detail would be the page related to the viral structure. All right. So I'm going to spend a good amount of time talking about that in class. So I want you to do an overview of pandemics of the past and agents of disease. So in courses, in activity 1, we looked at this in the news and the setup. So now you'll go through pandemics of the past, which is a little bit out of order. So you see, if you want to do agents of disease first, it's down here. If you click on agent of disease, this interactive, and you can click on each of these, and it gives you some information, all right, about each type of agent of disease. You did a similar kind of activity if you took PBS way back when. We talked about what different types of things Anna Garcia could be infected with. If you didn't, no problem. So for each one, remember 5 pieces of information about the agent of disease. Like, think about how does it infect people, what types of diseases does it cause, and then also find 1 piece of information outside of PLTW. So look up some other interesting fact or about those types of things that would not be found in the PLTW site. So you have viruses, prions, helminths, protists, fungi, and bacteria. The big 2, of course, viruses and bacteria, are the primary ones that we think of. All right, so you'll look at those under agents of disease. And so give some examples. And you just click on this to close it out, and you can find viruses, right? The other thing is looking at, and you'll have a little bit of time in class to work on this as well, is the pandemics of the past. So if we scroll to that page, you see there are 3 past pandemics that great. So you're going to choose 3 of them from this list, okay? And talk about death toll, the cause of agent, other information, how it could have been prevented, all right? And then do a couple of conclusion questions about that as well. So to do that, once again, you go to this activity, pandemics of the past, and you can just click through the slideshow. You see it starts with the Black Death, some beautiful bacteria, right? Some of these are still around. There's still a Black Death in certain parts of the world, bubonic plague, but now we know how to treat it with antibiotics pretty well. You can see more about the Black Death, smallpox, and then some great images, some different images about the viruses. Here you can see the flu virus kind of resembles the COVID virus a little bit. So pick 3 of these particular outbreaks from the past and summarize them on here. So outside of class time, and then I will spend some time in class working on the viral structure. So basically, finish up your ER design if it's not done already and get that submitted. Be preparing your presentation and what you're going to say, and then be working on your and then work on these 2 pages outside of class time if you don't get any time to work on them in class. Okay, and so this whole workbook is going to be due, and we'll do a little bit of discussion on this probably Friday, but the whole workbook will be due following Thursday, basically before we go for break. There's additionally a little project at the end that we're going to do some version of that. All right, so I hope that's clear. If not, please let me know. But basically, on your day that you're not here, you're here on blue. On your gold day, you're going to work on the workbook pages over agents of disease and pandemics of the past, and we'll talk about viral structure in class, and then be working on your emergency room and the emergency room presentation as well. So that is it, and let me know if you have questions. Thanks. See you guys.